what can the city of Jacksonville and our mayor do to help charter schools to build faster? We have 700 kids on the waiting list. How do we, what are some ways that you would like to see him in the mayor's office help move that process along so that those kids who do want to leave their traditional public school have somewhere else to go?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I think this ties back into your, when you were talking about reading and how important it is to have just a well-educated citizenry. And so that's why public education, which education was never on my radar until I had my girls, and I realized there were no public or private, purely classical options. So I started a school around my kitchen table. I had no connections. I had no money. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to start a school. This is great. How hard can it be? Well, it turned out it was really hard. And so, the permitting issue was one of the biggest hurdles. I mean, we closed on our property March 31st of 2020, 2 weeks into the shutdown, which was a miracle, but then we had to open in August. So the permitting issue was just a nightmare, and we were going back and forth with the city, and we almost didn't get it done. They almost actually wouldn't let us get our permit because they said we needed a stoplight, which we didn't, and we had to fight back and forth. And so if things could be easier and more seamless, I mean, we're trying to give this wonderful education and educate kids so that we can save the country. That's what I firmly believe, because we can't save the country with the direction that we're on and the path that we're on. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. But anything that we can do to, I have to build a high school in a couple of years. I have to build a gym in a couple of years. But there are schools that are shutting down, and that will be shutting down, and then probably. And then there's also, I found out there's other churches that are being taken over by the city. I just found out about one today that we can utilize, and we have those 750 students on the wait list, and I feel terrible because I want to take all of them, but we don't have the capacity. So anything like that can speed up the process would be wonderful. And then I'd also say too, one of the things that I think could be also helpful, and I know this falls under the state, is the health department. The health department wasn't the friendliest to us when we were trying to get open. So anything that the mayor's office could do for that and kind of be a liaison would be very, very helpful.
I just want to chime in on one more thing that I think would be really important that the mayor's office could help out with expanding school choice and allowing new schools to come in and open would be infrastructure. We had in the last year a great school that wanted to come into the Mandarin area, and they finally threw their hands up and said, we're not coming because of the traffic issues. And so I think there's got to be a way that the city can meet these schools halfway and say, okay, well, we're going to help expand the roads in this area. We're going to add traffic lights for you so that we can bring more and more of these different types of curriculum into the city so that we have more school choice for everybody. That's really important.
Yeah, I have an idea. I have a very nuts and bolts idea that just came to me today, and I thought, this is my opportunity, I might as well share it. You could be the school choice mayor by doing this one thing. In observing school board workshops, probably a lot of you in the room are familiar, Duval County's been doing it for a long time, the School Choice Expo, where they advertise to all the parents in the communities about the different magnet schools that Duval County Public Schools offer. But in the last year or two, it's become almost cost prohibitive. The school board members are struggling because they know this is an event that parents love. But what if the mayor or the city could sponsor this in full or in part, and it could be affordable, but it would include not just Duval County Public Schools magnet programs, but we could have booths for the charter schools, we could have booths for homeschool resources, we could have information for private schools to really open up for all the community in one place to see all that the city offers in terms of school choice. And I thought that was a good idea. I don't know.
That's a great idea, and I appreciate all the comments, and would tell you that I believe there are solutions to the permitting issue. It's not just the schools, but that's a symptom of a bigger sickness, in my opinion. And I believe you have lots of hardworking folks that work for the city that have stacks of projects on their desk, and it's almost insurmountable for them to even get through. I think that there are ways that we can use private sector experts to solve the backlog of these permits, not only school issues, but other construction issues, whether it's workforce housing, whether it's a small business, a mom and pop. We should be able to move them through that process quicker. That doesn't mean you skip steps or you do things that are not following code. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting to yes quicker than where we are. Right now, you have 30 days to respond, and the 29th day, you get a couple comments. And it's just not right to do that with citizens who are trying to move forward to create jobs or create seats for schools, to educate our future workforce. And that's going to be something that we impact immediately after election. I would also tell you that I agree that the mayor has significant opportunity, I call it, to shed light and to keep accountability. And that's what I'm going to do on important issues, to make sure the citizens understand. They understand if there is a certain segment of our system of schools that refuses to come along with everybody else, that we make that public and open, and there's accountability. That helps everybody work harder whenever you have that opportunity. And I plan on doing that. I plan on looking at city property. This is something Esther and I have talked about. Not only for workforce housing, but opportunities to create public charter schools, to make that available to these parents that are waiting, 750 people, waiting, and they don't have the options out there. So there are all sorts of ideas, but I need you to come along with me and help me get these things done. And so I'm so thankful for you to be here tonight so we can make these changes.